Greetings, viewers and researchers alike. This is Agent Candy, logging on. Today's article file is an SCP that's Euclid, but I personally think should be upgraded to Keter. The only reason it's not is because we've basically memorized its patterns and habits by this point, and very little about it is still unknown to us. So I suppose a Euclid classification is pretty fitting. We downgrade it to safe, but there's still a lot we don't know. We typically know most of its attack patterns and whatnot, though. So, while it is pretty unpredictable, we still have a pretty decent understanding of it. Euclid probably is the best class for this guy after all. However, just because it's not a Keter does not mean we should not take it very seriously. Every SCP is capable of destroying the world in some scenario or another. That is why the SCP Foundation exists, to prevent such a thing from happening. I think I've blabbered on enough and lectured you all. I'm starting to sound like my MTFs now. So without further ado, let's hop into today's article file. Item number, SCP-096, also known as the Shy Guy. Object class, Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-096 is to be contained in its cell, a 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside SCP-096's cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure SCP-096's presence inside the cell. Any and all photos, videos, or recordings of SCP-096's likeness are strictly forbidden without approval from Dr. and O5. Description: SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of any body hair. SCP-096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not. It shows no signs of any higher brain function and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a state of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, SCP-096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will be, this point on, referred to as SCP-096-1. Documented speeds have varied from 35 to kilometers per hour, and seems to depend on the distance from SCP-096-1. At this point, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. The actual position of SCP-096-1 does not seem to affect SCP-096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of SCP-096-1's location. Note, this reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. See document 096-1. Upon arriving at SCP-096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to kill and SCP-096-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of SCP-096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, retrieval of subjects should be considered alpha priority. Dr. has also petitioned for immediate termination of SCP-096, see interview 096-1. Termination order has been approved and is to be carried out by Dr. on see incident 096-1-A. There is an audio log that is attached to this, and I will be reading it out for you all. Time: Research Area Captain, it always sucks ass to get initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides what jacked up information the field techies can scrape up. And you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag. Didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing. Dr. Could you describe the mission, please? Captain, yeah, sorry. We had 2 choppers, one with my team and one with backup and Zulu 9B. And Dr. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction, else he would have taken us out then and there. Dr. Your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. It was negative degrees Celsius. Captain, actually, it was negative, and yes, it was butt naked and didn't so much as shiver. Anyway, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal got ready to bag it. That's when Dr. called. I turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned, and my whole squad saw it. Dr. That's when SCP-096 entered an agitated emotional state. Captain Yup. Sorry, I got the willies for a second. Dr. That's alright. Captain Yeah, well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it up the ass. Dr. Could you describe it a little more, please? Captain Yeah. It started screaming at us and crying. Not animal roaring, though. Sounded exactly like a person. Really fucking creepy. We started firing when it picked up Corporal and ripped off his leg. God, he was screaming for our help. Fucking A. Anyway, we were blowing chunks out of the target. Round after round didn't do jack shit. I almost lost it when it started him. Dr. That's when you ordered the use of an AT-4 HEDT launcher, Captain an anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since SCP got loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like tissue paper. Did the same thing to the target. Dr. There was significant damage to SCP-096. Captain It didn't even fucking flinch. It kept tearing apart my squad, but with half of its torso gone. Dr. But it was taking damage. Captain If it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all its organs, all its blood, but it didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all. It kept tearing apart my squad. Dr. So no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at SCP-096? Captain At the least, 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GAU-19 on it for 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds. That's 650 caliber rounds pumped into the thing. Might as well have been spitting at it. Dr. This is when Zulu 9B arrived? Captain Yeah, and my squad was gone. Zulu 9B managed to get the bag over its head and it just sat down. We got it into the chopper and got it here. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha or whoever thought I should live. The jackass. Dr. We have obtained an artist's depiction of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it? Captain You know, after hearing that thing's screams and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard. No. Just no. Dr. Alright, I believe we are done here. Thank you, Captain. Dr. Let this be on record that I am formally requesting SCP-096 be terminated as soon as possible. And as I stated earlier, that termination order was accepted, and 096 is to possibly be terminated on the given date. I can't tell you guys what that date is because that's classified Foundation security. Anyways, this SCP is definitely really fucking creepy, and I've had the displeasure of having to track it down once and never again, child. If you are assigned to this SCP, be very, very, very careful and always look down at the ground if you think it's nearby, because this SCP is essentially the equivalent of I've got you in my sights, even though you're halfway across the world and there's no possible way, but you know it's an SCP, so anything goes. I hope you all have enjoyed this article file, and I hope you all are staying safe and not dying to Euclid's and Peter classes. And to the fucker who's trying to get killed by a safe class, stop it. get some help. This was a pretty enjoyable article file for me. Brought back a few willies, brought back a few good memories of when our squad was just beginning. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. If you have an SCP that you'd like me to read, drop it down in the comments below and I'll read it for you. And until then, this is Agent Candy logging off.